Yo, what's up, Foolys? It's your boy Othree. Welcome back to the Othree Exhibit. This is exhibit number 31. This is for the family, friends, and followers of my boy Toxic. This is the story of Toxic Part 2. We talk about his clothing brand, his music journey, and his podcast. Post up and enjoy. We're back here with Part 2 of my boy Toxic. He's here to continue telling his story. You want to give us an update what you've been up to, fool?
I just been chilling, fucking working on beats, music, and shit, all types of shit, bro.
That's right, dog. I'm bringing up your first the first episode, the story of Toxic Part One, which was the O3 exhibit number 11. It's been a cool minute. We talked about, your family and your roots, where you come from. We talked about growing up in South Central a lot, how you were
Yeah,
involved in the graffiti culture, the tang culture for a bit, and all the shit that we saw. We grew up in the same zip code. You could still say the same area, even though in
yeah,
LA, when you say neighborhood, it's still kind of a little spread out because it's such a
yeah,
big city, but it's still 911. We talk about that.
yeah,
Talk
yeah,
about some video games. We talk about, some mental health, your marriage, and settling down. But there's some topics that we didn't get to cover that are more on the side of things where we met, like the music
yeah.
and all that, including the Router Regime stuff and the beats and Toxic Thursdays. So we'll get into that. But before we get to your music journey, there's other things that you have, other projects that you were a part of the past couple of years that I
Yeah.
want to ask you some questions about. And the first one I would love to cover is the TRYBE Clothing project that you started with your wife. What was the idea about that? How did that come about?
So Tribe just started as like us wanting to do something like for like families in general too, just to represent like families, pretty much the word tribe too, you know. And we honestly just wanted to do like shirts. We wanted to fucking do videos, which honestly I haven't talked about it as much or even said much about it, but we are making videos. There's actually on the process too, where we want to make videos of our family, of our kids and shit, you know. And it's just pretty much like a little family project we all did, and I fuck with it like heavy, you know. I think it's fun. I think it's just something to do with my family too. A little family, I think we can all do together. We includes my all my kids, my baby, my wife, me. We just it's almost like blogging, I guess. It's pretty much the plan right now, going with it, you know. And yeah.
Why'd you include the Y instead of the I?
What do you mean?
And tribe? How you spell it? TRYBE?
We're just trying to make it different. If you notice, kind of like even my name, like Toxic. I always try to make something a little different. Even our kids' names are kind of like spelled like uniquely like that. Only one, honestly, low key, just my baby. Other than that, everybody's name is spelled uniquely, pretty much. Like
And
oh,
so,
like my baby Madison is with a Y instead of a ION or whatever.
all
ISON.
right. All right, for sure. Hey, that's
Yeah,
dope. Hey, that's dope. You know what it is, bro? When people have interesting names or unique names or different, some people, they make fun of those people. There's
yeah,
other people that are interested in hearing about that because there's a lot of unique names out there and it's a conversation starter. It's a cool conversation piece. We've all been there, though. Like, oh, how do you spell your name? It's like,
low key. It kind of goes back to the graffiti. If you think
ah,
about it, like some people write their names all crazy just for the graffiti names. I would say maybe it low key kind of comes from there too, you know, like just trying to make it look different, you know. Yeah, that's pretty much. I think that's dope though. But,
yeah, that's dope. Hey, shit, if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. But I know you
uh,
remember being in class, dog, and having people with their names spelled differently and
yeah,
them getting clowned down and shit. But it doesn't matter, dog. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
It's better to be unique. That's what I think. Like it's cool to be unique. It's cool to have a unique name. It's cool to have a unique background, a unique story. I'm all for unique, dog.
oh yeah, me too, bro. Yeah,
So when did y'all start? Like when was the take me back to the beginning?
we just thought about like, all right, we want to do because all right, I've been doing music and all that shit for a while, and I had the toxic. logo going, and me and my wife were like, you know what, I feel like we should have something instead of just representing me, we just represent all of us. That's pretty much where it started. We're like, I think something would be dope, unique. Where like we wanted to do shirts for it, which we had a cool ass logo made and everything. We wanted to, well, not just it's not just about us, you know. It's just about like other people with families. It could be fucking friendships. It could be whatever the fuck, you know. It don't got to be necessarily family. It could be brothers, sisters, cousins, whatever. That's pretty much I wanted to do as tribe and shit. And me and her were just thinking about stuff, thinking about names and shit like that. And we just fell on tribe. At first we were gonna spell it, but I'm like, I think it would be dope as fuck if we did it with the Y. And then yeah, it's pretty much how it started. And then little by little, we got the like I said, we got the logo done and all that stuff. And we were trying to sell shirts and stuff like that, but it was just expensive at first to get all that extra shit on the tribe. And then I started just doing the regular, instead of going to like somebody to make it, I was doing the regular where like it would just be like kind of like basic letterings and shit. And it still came out dope as fuck, I think, you know. But like I said, it's pretty much coming back right now. And yeah,
Yeah, I remember when you first started that project, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. This is dope." Because
yeah,
it's in the name. It's in the name. You know, it's
yeah,
self-explanatory. You don't have to really get too into detail to explain what it means, right? So I
yeah,
fuck with it. And when I seen the logo, it almost had like this vibe, like you know how the fools that be doing the tattoos and shit,
yeah.
like a tattoo artist kind of vibe. Well, who came up with the idea for the logo?
Well, I wanted it to be a shield, and I just wanted to. I found somebody who just had. I honestly had the artist. I forgot his fucking name too, but he's the one that came out with the letterings. I just kind of gave him the ideas of what I wanted. And I wanted to include a shield, which pretty much it means like protecting your family. It's just about your shit, you know. That's pretty much what the whole shield thing is about. And he pretty much did the whole drawing, but I wanted him to do the shield, include the shield and little arrows. If you see like little arrows and all that, like kind of like how you say it's self-explanatory. It's like your tribe and shit. And then he pretty much came up with the whole design and that and the letterings and shit like that. But little touches that I told him that's what I wanted.
For sure. Yeah, I love hearing about the history of logos and shit. You know me, dog. You know the baby food logo. I
Yeah.
love talking about the baby food logo and the Rowdy Regime logo and all the other logos that I've had throughout the years. But when I know other foods have logos, I want to hear about the backstory of their logos. I fuck with logos. I'm a logo kind of person.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need a logo, right? But it's cool to have a logo,
It's
you
fucking
know.
awesome.
You said
Yeah, yeah.
you said the you were gonna say something, my bad.
No, no,
There was a there was a was it a shirt? Yeah, so speaking of the shirts, there was a shirt that you posted on your Instagram where it was just the logo. Was that the first drop?
the first it was the golden color, the golden the
Okay,
one
yeah.
that looks all golden, and then the ones that look like there's like four versions. There's like a few versions. There's that one, the one that has like everything on it. There's the one that straight just says tribe. There's one that says tribe and with a little bit of the shield, and then there's the shield with a T.
I think that's the one I
Where
seen.
Yeah,
The
so
shit with a
there's
T.
a few. That's another thing we were trying to do a bunch of logos, and I thought it all came out pretty dope like that and shit. I had one of my homies. I came out with those ideas, but I had my homie Joe come up with the help me with those little parts. And all he did was use the PNG or the files or whatever I sent him that he needed, and he pretty much helped me with all that.
Yeah, it's cool to have variety.
You know, yeah.
And
So
it's always cool to have variety because you could put the logo everywhere, right?
yeah,
You could put it as many shirts as you want. But how dope would that be to have variety, dog? Give people an option, give people a different, like a different logo. But like you said, you even have one where it's just the letters. So even
yeah,
having an option like that is dope too, because sometimes, people are simple. There's fools that fuck rocking, they fuck with the shirts that rock a whole ass logo. There's fools that rock shirts with nothing. There's fools that rock shirts with just the word. So to give
Yeah, yeah.
people a variety of options is the good way. It's a good way to go. It's a good way to go about it.
It is dope. And that's why then I do want to do another one too. With It's just the shield. It just represent, you know what it is, just by seeing it and shit, you know. And yeah, it's dope.
So you want this to be separate from your music.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I feel like, because the way I see it, I'm not saying you got to know where I was gonna go with it. Um, so I'm not saying my shit's all kid friendly and shit, but in a
It's
way, it's
not.
like
It's
it's
not.
not. You know what I mean?
It's not kid friendly, dog. Oh
Because
shit.
I know how I am and shit, and I rap all this crazy bullshit, and I want that to represent trap also. You know, it just shows a different side of me. If that makes sense. You know.
They're the fool that after hours toxic.
For real,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying? See, I just had to ask, dog. I just wanted to make the distinction because I understand both. I know you on a personal level. I
Yeah,
understand. You know, we talked about Tribe before, and obviously I've known you on a musical and then in your music, so I know what kind of music
yeah.
you bring to the table, and I know the vibe that you're trying to go with Tribe over here. I just had to ask that way, you let it be known to the
I
world
get,
that there are two different projects.
I get, yeah. It's pretty much it is separate because it's something. All right, I kind of all right. It's a good example. I could show my boss Tribe, and she'll be like, "Oh, that's nice, it's dope." I can't show my fucking rap shit, fucking talking about killing motherfuckers and shit all day. You know, like
Yeah.
it'll be two different things. So it is a different side of me. I'm not saying I'm not gonna promote it in my shit, but it is different. You know.
Those who find it will find it, and those who find it and fuck with it will fuck with it. No, but you're not gonna try to
No,
cross promote.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's dope. Anything else you want to say about Tribe before we move on?
Like I said, I have a lot of. It's actually coming back. Is recently me and my wife have thought about more projects and doing more videos just about our family and shit like that. And that's pretty much what's coming up next. Tribe. Tribe is coming back, so 2025 is going to be pretty dope when it comes to Tribe. I'm gonna go really hard on it. We kind of lagged. I want to say I lagged, and my wife is pushing it. I just kind of been, I've been busy. We have kid and baby and shit. I've been stuck at work a lot, and I could even say I'm lagging on music a little bit, but I'm still, little by little, I'm doing my thing. I'm coming back to it.
It's good to have a supporting partner, right? It's good to have a
Of
partner that's
course.
pushing you all the time. But it's
Oh
also
yeah.
cool when you recognize that, like you say, you said it yourself. You're slacking, and
Yeah.
we have to be accountable for. That's something that nobody else is gonna be like, "Hey, fool, you're not." Like I'm not gonna be in your business and be like, "Hey, fool, you're not doing any music, though. You're good." That
Oh
comes
yeah.
from ourselves and shit. So it's cool to see that you recognize both, and I mean, you obviously like appreciating your partner for pushing you, but also recognizing that sometimes it is. And I'm not even I'm using you as an example, but this is more for like the people that are listening. That sometimes it does take that self awareness and that accountability for us to take it to the next level.
No, yeah. I just felt like I was going through like a whole, I don't want to say mental stagnant depression. No, I just been doing so much shit. I've been busy, and but like I said, I'm coming back this whole month. I recorded a shitload of tracks, so I've been more active this month than for like the past 2 years and shit. You know what I mean? Like on some real shit. But when it comes to rapping beats, I fucking make them every. It's like almost like a fucking like I'm drinking a beer. I'm gonna make a beat real quick and do. Like. But rapping, like it's just that's where I want to get better at. More not better, but more like more on it and shit.
So you brought up your music. Let's get into your music journey.
Uh,
Let's start off with the rap. All right, so take me back to the very beginning of your rap career, your music journey. Let's start it off with your name. Were you always toxic or did that come after?
that was after actually one of my first rap name was Hack One. So it was like hack. It wasn't like hack like I'm hacking a computer. It was like hacking Flash and shit. And then I that was a thing I was actually tagging before. That's the reason I also went with it. And I was rapping with my brother, which he goes by Q the Ripper. I have like a few songs with him, just songs out there with me and him, a little music video and everything. And we and him were trying to go hard on that shit. We were a group called Lost Ones, which I still feel like I rap every now and then, but it's like it's almost like a throwback, I guess, when I start saying that, you know. Like if my brother could hear it, he'd be like, yeah, but he doesn't rap anymore,
Yeah.
you know. But pretty much that's how I started. I want to say I was like my MySpace days when I first started rap. I was like probably like 13, 14 or some shit like that. And I'm gonna bring up my homie with Wisdom when he was in Musical Junkies. He was before Musical Junkies. I think he was just Innovators or some shit like that. And I remember I heard his rap for the first time, and I was like, "You could do it. I think I could do that shit." And no, I've always told him that too. He knows the story because I always told him that. I was like, "You're pretty much one of the reasons why I started rapping and shit." I always liked rap music. I was always a big fan of hip hop music. I was always into that, like Jedi Mind Tricks. I used to love. Obviously, I love Necro like a motherfucker, Vidi Pass, Mortal Technique, like Diabolic and shit like that. That was all like the shit for me, you know. I was like, I can't listen to fucking Lil Wayne and all that shit, you know. Like, I can't fuck with that. So eventually, I started like rapping. I never like released music for a while. I was just rapping, and I always liked the death rap shit. I felt like I lean more towards that. And Toxic came, I want to say a few years later. Cause I was like, I feel like Hack One doesn't sound cool and shit, you know. And I was like, Toxic. I think that shit sounds dope as fuck. I actually stayed in the verse. I don't think I released that track, but there's I say something like something toxic, and then I'm like, I just thought fucking dope, and that's why I came
Yeah.
up with it and did what I did and shit.
I mean, even going by hack one, like having the word one or having the number one in your name, that kind of comes with a certain energy that, you're gonna have to be answering a question.
Yeah,
So for you, right?
yeah, because there's
Yeah.
always winners and shit like that. That's pretty much what it came from too, you know. And I just feel like the one even gives it like a cool vibe too and shit, you know.
Well, I'm not saying it's wrong.
Um,
Like I fuck with fools that have one in their name. There's a lot of fools that have one in their name, but knowing you and knowing that you do come from that background, like I'm pretty sure you got that question asked a lot.
a lot. I mean, even in Bakersfield, I think I even said that story somewhere in Bakersfield, and they even told me like, "What the fuck is a wonder?" I'm like, "What the fuck, you guys?" Like I'm in
Oh
a
shit.
different world and shit. Yeah,
You know what's funny, though? Now that I think about it, I don't think I ever seen anybody write Wonder when I was in Ohio.
yeah. Or I don't think I've seen that shit either anywhere. I always seen it. I've seen it all in that lay. Is it just one or just the actual number one and R or whatever the fuck how they want to spell it and shit? And I don't think I've seen that shit anywhere here. I don't even see a lot much taggings right here. There are some spots that some fools like some train tracks, but even when I read those, like it's just names and shit, you know?
It's all hip hop, dog. So we gotta give respect to the graffiti fools, the graffiti writers out in the world.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it's probably like some big city shit, like the fools that be writing Wonder. Like I'm pretty sure there's something like that, like some fools in New York that write Wonder or something. I don't know. That's not really my expertise or my background, but just knowing the history of hip hop, like I'm pretty sure that's some New York shit too.
Oh yeah.
But going back to your music, dog, you said 13, 14, when was this? Like mid 2000s?
No, it was like I want to say like 2010 or no, that little like 2009, 8, some shit around that little time frame. You know, and like I said, I was just rapping with my brother a lot. We were a group, and we were going hard on it, and it came to a point where I kind of even gave up a bit because he started lagging on it like a motherfucker and shit. And I love him though. He still raps dope as fuck, but he's onto his guitar now and he plays like he plays in a band and shit, like metal and shit.
Oh, that's
So he
dope.
plays fucking dope as fuck because he's been playing guitar since he was a little ass kid. But um, I felt like I was alone in it for a little bit, and then my other brother never rapped, and he just, I guess he out of nowhere, he came out of nowhere. He was like, I started doing rapping music, and he raps dope, but she gives me that ODB kind of feel low key and shit, you know. But yeah, man, that's how I started. I always enjoyed it. Um, when I saw Wisdom started rapping too, I was like, I just had to, bro. I thought he was fucking doping. I think he's still doping rapping, you know. But that's pretty much how it started.
And he's older than you, or you're the same age?
We're the same age. We're in the same grade and everything in class.
And where did you hear the song? You said
It
MySpace
was, it
Music?
was MySpace. I don't think it was Innovators because when he was there was music before Music with Junkies. There was I think he had a group called BNL or some shit like that. Buddha, no, BNW, some shit like that. It was Wisdom and Buddha Lore. That's pretty much what it meant. And then what you call it? I think and then before that was Innovators, and I want to say it was around that little time frame, you know. And then he posted something. He sent it to me on MySpace, and I saw it, and I thought it was the dopest shit ever, you know. And I was like, I want to rap too, and da 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 da. Like I feel that motherfucker inspired me to do a lot of shit. Like I give him that.
Was that something that even as a kid you thought about? Or was that something that happened because of your teenage years and now you're listening to hip hop?
I always thought, I always, all right, so I know it's kind of fun. I don't know if you ever do it, but so no, I've always been the type of person that I like listening to music a lot. And when I mean not just like sitting down, I like fucking being active, listening to music like loud as fuck, and I always imagine myself fucking rapping. And when I was younger, you know, I always imagine myself rapping or being on stage doing some shit. And I felt like it was probably like destined to be low key and shit, you know. Like I've always enjoyed it. It was always something in my head that I'm like, fuck, I always wanted to do it. And it's crazy because I always feel that my closest homies and my family and shit like they all fuck with me, but after a while you see those little fucking haters. Like I have like I'm gonna say like the certain family members, but I have certain family members that at first they were like, oh you're whack as fuck, and all of a sudden when they saw me doing more bigger shit, hey I fuck with your shit, like fuck you. You know, like even shit like that I think about from back in the day. Like I remember they used to make fun of me for certain shit, and then later on, I'm like, oh shit, so actually got more into it and got better at it and shit, you know?
The classic story.
Yeah.
Fucking going back a little bit into your family roots, because like for example, my grandpa and a lot of my family members, they either sing or they play an instrument. My grandpa, saxophone player, right? So it runs on my mom's side of the family. So I could
Yeah.
say that, I was kind of destined to do this. Not kind of, I was destined to rap. You feel me? Can you trace your lineage, and can you look at your lineage for in any way and be like, I have musicians on this side of the family?
I have a lot of musicians actually, mostly in my dad's side of the family. So
Mm.
I know it's not music, but I have a uncle that fool does art. And he's not like a cholo, he's a straight bicycle looking ass dude and shit, but that fool gets down on drawing some shit. And I remember he always taught me a little like game here and there. I have a grandpa that he knows how to sing and play pretty much every instrument. He knows how to play guitar. He knows how to play fucking drums, bass. He all types of shit. So this is all from like him in church and shit. But like it'll be funny. He passed away actually last Christmas, and I always remember something with him that he will not play certain hard rock music in the churches, but when we'll be in the house by like my brother's house in the garage and all that shit, and he will play. Oh, don't tell nobody I play this, and he knows how to play some sick ass shit, you know, and it trips me out. And I can say he's another one. My brother, such as mentioned too, and I have more cousins on that side too that played a lot of shit too. There's a lot of family members that pretty much play like in rock bands. That's like I could say. I don't have too much rapping families, but like, they all like do like more like that soft rock or like heavy metal.
I used to look at the pictures and hear the stories from my mom talk about my grandpa and my family members, like her tios.
You know.
And I would always ask myself, damn, like what if I have that skill? Like what if I could play an instrument? Now I had the opportunity to play instruments in the past, pero nunca me llamó la atención. I never wanted to do it. I always thought it was like some cornball shit.
Yeah.
Like, fools that be doing music classes and shit like that. I always
Yeah.
thought it was some cornball shit, dog. Like, Like, look at these fucking fools right here, right? Like, I thought those fools were weirdos, man. And
Think about that shit in American Pie and shit.
like, I don't want to be like, I wanted to be some like, I wanted to be a rapper, dog. Like, I wanted to be in the
Man,
streets. I wanted to look like, I want to be on that Cholo World shit. I didn't want to be over here with band and with the music people and shit. It took a long time for me to like appreciate, because a lot of these fools that, they're in the same boat as us, right? It just
yeah,
manifests differently. Like for them, it might be the piano, it might be the bass, it might be the guitar. For us, it's fucking rap.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But when I was a little kid, I used to like hear the stories and be like, damn, imagine that. Because my grandpa played the saxophone. I was like, damn, imagine I learned how to play the saxophone. Da, da, da. And then the moment I rapped that first time, I remember it took me a little bit to reflect on it. I was like, wait, that's music. I'm making music now. Did
Oh
you ever
yeah.
have a moment like that?
Yeah. I feel like it's just crazy, like how you said, it's like from the roots and shit, like it just makes you feel good. That's why I could say my grandpa even said the same shit. He didn't like the shit I was rapping because he understood what I was saying, but like he was like, you have it in you. You fucking like you get passionate about it and shit, and you just end up like, and I feel like yeah, man, like it's fucking. It's an amazing feeling when you just realize like fuck dude like I actually make this shit like even me
Yeah.
with the beats and shit I make this shit I fucking literally made this whole shit like that. I played a little guitar and a little bit of bass. That's the most I've done, like actual instruments. But even shit like that, I'm like, fuck, I'm actually learning this. I'm actually doing that. Like, it makes you feel good that you fucking did it, and you have some type of fucking rhythm at least. You don't sound all fucking fucked up and shit.
I look back at it now, dog. I was like, damn, if I learned how to play the flute for like in sixth grade or learn how to play the fucking cello or some shit, dog,
Yeah.
that's dope. Like to me, I find shit like that dope now. But back in the day, I used to be like, look at this cornball over here, look at this fool and
Yeah.
shit, It's beautiful when you get to hear your shit and it's always that feeling. It's always like you hear some shit, you lay it down, even if it's whack, for even if it's the wackest shit you ever fucking recorded. But you hear this shit and it kind of like hits you like in a certain part of the soul. I don't know where it's unexplainable.
Yeah.
And your whole mind might be on some negative shit, like bah, 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 fuck this shit for I suck, dog. Like my shit's trash. But then there's a part of you who understands that it's proud of the product, the final product. And that
Oh
that feeling
yeah.
right there, that's the one that's the shit you're talking about. Like it makes you feel good. I'm saying even if it sounds trash, you have to feel proud of it.
I would even say when I record, I don't get mad at myself if I fuck up. I get more hype. I
Mm.
don't know if you ever get like that. It's
Yeah.
weird because I'll be like da da da, even if I knock that out, cool. My wife will hear it. Oh, it sounds good. I'll hear it over and I'll do it over. And then I'm
Yeah.
more hyped than them. I do it until it's fucking perfect, And then it's kind of the same feeling too. And then I'm like, I fucking knew I had it all my thoughts and shit. And I'm like, I fucking know it. Like I could bring that out what I'm thinking and shit, or that feeling that I want and shit. And it makes you feel good. Like I said, it makes you feel towards the product when it's finished and shit. And it's similar to when I'm recording, like I just fucking like I'll be hyped. I don't even get pissed at myself. I'll even laugh if I fuck up a little bit, if I have like a tongue twister or whatever. Like I fucking know and shit. But I get into it and shit. I always been like that though. Even when I've helped record people too, they try to like record bullshit and shit, and I'm like, nah, fool, I ain't it. And I try to hype them up and shit, like, nah, fool, you could do it like this and that and that. And later on, they start liking what I meant. They know what I meant pretty much, in the end.
Let's get into your process of rapping and recording the music and writing it.
Yeah,
Do you write your music, your lyrics on paper, or do you use your phone?
I use my phone. It's just faster access for me, pretty much.
De voladas, anywhere.
Yeah, and then I save it on my thing just in case if something happens to my phone. It'll be like the iCloud shit. So just that's more later in the future. I did wrote before I had a old notebook and shit, but after a while I lost it, and then it made it more easier for me on the phone.
So let's talk about the beginning of Toxic and then the midway and then now how much your writing has changed, or even your let's talk about writing, and then we'll get into recording. So you said at the very beginning you used to write it out,
Yeah.
right? And then how would you go about recording the process, recording the song? Was it something that you learned on your own, you did on your own, somebody helped you out?
I learned on my own because at the time I grew up poor, so like it was always hard for me to even get fucking internet to even look at like shit up on YouTube and shit, you know. And then now it's easier. Obviously, you just have your fucking phone and you just find shit and like nothing, you know. But back in those days, I just fucking write like a bunch of shit, and it'll come to me like super fast. I just felt like I sounded angry half of the fucking time and shit, you know. And I was I was pissed off about a lot of shit. And I remember I just write. And at the time, I didn't have no microphone. I was rapping off these things called turtle beachers,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
And I would use that, but I've learned so much on. I was recording on Audacity. Audacity was been out for a long time, but I was using Audacity, and I remember I learned every single fucking effect. I didn't know what none of it fucking meant until I started fucking like looking at everything what I could do with it, and then I will notice also people's recordings. Like I will listen to music, and I'll listen. I won't even listen to the song. I'll listen to how they record or what they do. I'll listen to the background of what they're saying and shit like that. And I started doing that's where the ad libs started coming through more, and that's pretty much how I started in the beginning when I first started rapping, and then and I just started recording a lot. Like I have so much unreleased bullshit that I don't even know. I don't think I even have them anymore, but I was just rapping a bunch of like death rap shit. I was rapping a bunch of into Mob Deep beats and shit like that. But it was almost all similar as in the death rap shit. And there are some emotional songs that I tried doing, but I feel like I didn't like how it sounded, so I just like completely scratched it. But yeah,
Yeah, it's always the emotional ones that you scratch. It's
yeah,
always,
because I'm like, what the
it's
fuck?
always those.
I sound like a bitch and shit.
It's always, hey, you might have the greatest idea, dog, and then you record. I'm like, fuck this shit, dog. Hell no. You fucking boop delete. I'll be like that all the time. What about like at the very beginning of your music journey, dog? Do you have a space to record, or how'd you record it? Was there a lot of noise and shit in the back?
No, I had my own rooms. I just recorded it right there. I had technically it wasn't my laptop. It was one of my older brother's laptop. But he was never really using it and shit, and I just thought I was recording right there. Um, I want to say I probably have a few old tracks, like I said, but that's pretty much how it was the process of me recording. It was just in the room. I told my mom, "Hey, mom, I'm a record." She never knew what the fuck I was rapping about at the time, but I'll tell her I want to do music, and she kind of understood because I explained to her what I was doing, and I told her if you hear me loud or you hear me fucking sounding like this, like that, like don't worry about it. Just it's part of the process. I always remember that shit.
Shout out to supportive parents. For my parents were the same way. They didn't speak English, dog. They didn't understand anything I was saying, but they saw how passionate I was about it that eventually they got me my first condenser mic, the one with
Yeah,
the XLR cable and everything.
yeah,
So they paid for it, so I appreciate them, and I always got to give them a shout out and acknowledge supporting like parents that are supportive, that support us in our dreams and shit. And it sounds like you had the same luxury. It's a privilege
yeah,
as a kid because our parents, especially like Raza fools, were like, nah, fuck that shit, like fuck that
yeah.
music, fuck that rap shit, dog. Like that's that, what I'm saying? That's that black music, you know. But if they have supportive parents, and luckily my parents never thought like that, so it was never on some like racial shit. It was just like, all right, like my kid loves this shit. Like that's the only thing we could do is support it. You feel
No,
me?
yeah, it's funny too, because like I said, my mom heard it later, or and she understands a little bit of English, so I always thought it was the funniest shit ever. Don't get me, no one's been like thinking I was crazy and shit.
Damn, that's funny.
And I was like, "Mom,"
Oh,
I was trying to explain to her. I was like, I didn't know it's like a. It's funny because you look at it like in the cartoons, and you see the teenager like, "Mom, it's just a blah blah," in like
yeah,
a
I know what you're
phase
talking
and
about. I
shit.
could I could picture it, dog. I know what you're talking about. Yup.
Yeah, I try to explain to mom, it's just music. Don't worry about it. Like it's not fucking bad. I'm not crazy. I'm not a fucking murderer like that.
Shout out to supportive parents.
Yeah.
They're fucking they're like the best thing to have in your corner when you start off dog with, especially when you have nothing, fool.
No, yeah.
Especially when you're recording in your room and shit, and you're using your cheap ass mic, and you have to rip beats off of YouTube. I'm pretty sure that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Well, everybody had the same. Oh, I used to rip beats off of YouTube beginner story and shit. Not
No,
everybody, but a
yeah.
lot of us.
I feel like most of yeah, a lot of it that shit's fun. That's a fun part. I feel like it's still a fun process, regardless when you're starting and shit. You know, um, I've always thought it was the most awesome shit in the fucking world, especially when I started actually getting better at it. Because I felt like my first shit was fucking whack. I was fucking off beat all the fucking time, and but I knew what I wanted to do, and I always feel like there's a process to get better and better and better, and I think that's the fun part about a lot of shit, you know.
So when you used to put in work to get better, how would that look like? Would you put in hours? Was it like I'm gonna do a verse every day?
I was trying to make a song every once a month, so I always believed that I'd rather do one dope track than a bunch of bullshit.
Mm.
I've always thought about it like that. Even when I was younger, I was like, I could write anything if I wanted, and it would just sound like bullshit. But like, I understand that kind of helps you too. But I always felt like I'd rather take my sweet ass time, and I'll try to do it once a month, and to do a dope ass verse or a dope ass song. And that's how I started doing that. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just take my time, and I'll always I'll always re-say it over and over and over until it's like fucking annoying to the point where like even my brothers and they were like, hey fool, you said that shit like thousands of times. I'm like, yeah, I wanna fucking get that shit perfect to each breath to sound like like each breath is fucking calculated, everything and shit. And I wanted to make sure it's dope, and I'll change shit and stuff like that, and I'll listen to more of a lot of like other, not just that's why I listen to like Nas and shit. And I'm realizing like fuck these fools, like they have a smooth ass flow. Like I like the words they use. Another big thing I started thinking was the words, and I was just like I want to use better words and shit and sound like dope instead of sounding like basic as fuck. And that's what I felt like before. I felt like I fucked up. I sounded super basic, and then I wanted to use bigger words and sound more better.
So as you're practicing, at what point did your equipment change? Like when did you finally get an upgrade into like
When
a mic or some shit?
my first mic, I got it when I first started working. I remember I bought myself the Blue Yeti mic,
Yeah.
and that was my first mic, and I didn't have a pop filter. And then eventually I bought one, and then I bought the whole stand, and I had my own little pretty much I started like around 18, that's when I started being more into it.
Okay.
And that's when I bought my better equipment. I want to say I still have a track. It's called Granda, and it's one of my oldest track on YouTube. That was still recorded off of fucking Turtle Beachers. And it sounded good though. And if you hear it, you'll be like, "Oh, it sounds like a regular song." I practice on this so much, and I try to learn how to mix right there so much that it sounds good, you know. And later on, when I got the microphone, I was like, "Whoa, it just sounds fucking different,
It's a new
man! Like
world, dog. It's a
it's a
fucking new
new
world.
fucking world and shit." And then I sort of started getting more into it, and I wanted to make something more viral, if that made sense. I remember one of my first songs that I was like, I want this to be a fucking hit. It was a track called G Funk, and I remember I wanted to make that shit fucking perfect. I forgot what the fuck I was listening to, but I was listening to a bunch of G Funk at that time, and it was more like just to get ideas and what I want to do with it, and the route I want to take to that track, and yeah, that shit came out fucking dope as fuck. And I'm not saying it's a viral song, but it has a cool amount of views and shit.
I know what song you're talking about.
Yeah.
What about any studio time? You said like
Um,
18 years old. Where at 18 years old, you ever plan on going to the studio? Was that something that was in your fucking in your to-do list, or is that something that came later?
so I'm gonna be honest, I've never gone to like a professional studio unless it was the one little studio I got. I never went to the studio. For one, I thought it was the biggest waste of money, and I felt like I wanted to learn it, and it kind of goes to beats too. Like I always thought about I want to do learn everything on my fucking own. I want to
Mm.
learn how to mix on my own. I want to pay all this shit on my own. I want to have my own studio, my own shit. Cause I never even I knew wisdom. I never once told that fool, hey fool, I'm gonna go record in here. Never once told him that. I guarantee if I wanted to, he would have been down to do it and shit or whatever music with junkies. I was cool with all them fools, but I never asked. I always felt like I wanted to do it on my own. It's the same thing like video games too. Like I want to do everything on my fucking own. I don't need no cheat code and shit. I just want to just knock it out myself. That's the reason I've never been to a studio to this day. I've been to studios to like hang out and fucking and or do like little music videos with people and shit, or just be there with somebody or whatever. But I never recorded on the studio like me personally.
For sure. Yeah, once you start learning the equipment, dog, and you have everything that you need at that moment, you don't need to go to the studio, dog. You don't.
No,
I mean, it's cool to have that investment lined up, but sometimes you might get stuck with the wrong engineer.
no.
You might not have that chemistry with the person that's taking care of you at the studio, or maybe there's nobody at the studio and you have to bring your equipment and you have to go in there with nobody and nothing. And you're like, I could do this at home.
And I'm not knocking what they do. I guarantee they fucking know how to make dope ass shit, but I've always liked how I made my sound. You know what I mean? And unless I'm getting like paid like a motherfucker for my shit, and then like you gotta go to the studio, no, I'm probably the only way I'll do it and shit. But other than that, I like my sound. You know, like the only things I will pay for to this day might be just get my shit mixed and some beats. Cause some
Mhm.
beats, like even though I can make beats, but sometimes I hear a beat, I'm like, I want that fucking beat, you know, and I'll rap on that beat and shit. But other than that, like that's it. You know, everything else I do at home. You know, I feel like I have the whole equipment to do it. I have, it's not bullshit equipment either. It was pretty expensive and shit. You know. And like you said, it was the whole point of going if I could do everything at fucking home.
You talked about music videos. What about
Yeah.
your first music video? How did that happen?
My first music video, there's actually a few. I ended up buying a camera. I remember that. And when I first thought about music videos, a music video I never dropped. It was just a verse, and I remember I was fucking around with the angles, and it was a verse I did for a homie and shit. And then it was just a raw. It was just the version where it's just me. He cut it. I have had to tone him to cut everybody's verse off, and just put my part, and then that's pretty much how I did it. Because then if you hear the whole verse, like you can hear some of the other fools verses, before. And then I remember I'll fuck around with the angles. I was just fucking around basic angles, bullshit, but like it came out dope. And little by little, the first music video I did was with my brother, the one I mentioned earlier. Um, it's called A Day in the Life. That was my first legit music video out there that I want to say was legit. And I did it myself. I did it with my camera. I thought about the idea. Honestly, it all came in the moment. We didn't even thought about a music video. I just remember I came to visit from LA to LA and shit. And then he was like, yeah, let's make a music video. I'm down. Right now I have a camera. And I just brought it just to show it off at first. And then we ended up doing a music video, and that's how it came up. And then and we just did it in the moment, fool. Like it wasn't even we didn't even practice anything. We're just vibing out and shit, you know. Had my kids with me and all that, and yeah. I want to say I was still a little late on the music video thing because even though I've been doing music for a long time, that's another thing. But I feel like it still came in a good time too, you know.
Everything happens when it needs to happen,
Yeah.
right? What about performing? Live performance, first one.
The first time I performed, it was in a Halloween, and Uh, so I don't have too much time performing. I want to say I've performed a few times, but the first time was actually in Bakersfield. It was with my homie Joe, and he's part of a group called OMG, the Open Mind Group, and and he was looking for somebody to perform in for Halloween. He was like, hey, I think you fit perfect for that shit. You know, like you have the perfect vibe for it, and it was in downtown Bakersfield, and I remember I was wearing a fucking all like shit in my face and shit, but I felt like I was just ready for that moment when I first did it. Like I wasn't like at first I was kind of nervous before, but when I first performed there, I was like I fucking killed that shit. I got so into it, and when it started, when the first beat dropped, I fucking killed it like, the entire time. And I felt like I did pretty good. And ever since I was performing like I want to say like once every month or 2 months and shit like that. And but then I felt like that's something where I want to do more. Um, I actually enjoyed it. At first, I thought it was like, fuck, I don't know if I could do it. I was a little nervous, but it's the funnest shit ever, especially because you know what I mean, too. You know, you perform, so it just gives you a fucking feeling like, fuck, it's like a high and shit, you know? Like, it's fucking amazing, especially if after performing crowds were like, that fuck with it too, you know. Like I started learning my crowds too. Like I would notice, and Wisdom actually gave me that fucking advice. You learn your fucking crowd because sometimes you don't want to rap death rap on the Christian people for the Christian people, you know. So I've learned with certain times when to throw out that death rap, when certain times when to throw the chief funk, certain parts throw more something else and shit, you know. Yeah, it was fun. I don't feel like I fucked up on that. You know, I think I read the crowds perfect when it came all that shit, but it's fucking fun, man.
Performing death rap in front of a Christian crowd. No, that's a good piece of advice. That's a great piece
Yeah,
of advice right there. Shout out to Wisdom for that piece of advice.
yeah,
Cause it
yeah,
is true though. You need to learn the crowd before you're even there. Like, don't try to learn the crowd while you're there. Like, you gotta know. You gotta do a little bit of research and shit.
yeah, yeah. Especially where you're gonna be at, and because the thing is, I even try to look at the other rappers. Like
Mm,
some of them I won't know, but I know Joe, and he goes by Joe. I know him by Joe. He goes by something else, but I know how his music is, and I'll notice everybody else's music. I'm getting the kind of vibe of what tracks to pick, and then you'll have your performance tracks. So sometimes I have a lot of tracks that have people with people in it and shit like that. So I have tracks that will be completely performance tracks or just me in it. I'll cut the other fool's verse, or if I have a full song, like I remember I did the Bring the Ruckus by myself one time, and then I have AK Junior on it, and I cut his verse off, and it just sounds like "Hungry Hustlers gunning down on you, bus," and then it goes to my verse, and then there's the chorus, and it ends like that. You know what I mean? Like that's another thing people should do a lot, because even I've seen people. I used to like going to shows all the time, and I used to see people that you could tell they're like not like professionals at performing, and they will like record off bullshit. And another thing is performing without your vocals in it also too, you know? Because the first time I did it with my vocals, and later on I was like, nah, I think it'll sound hard as fuck without it. And I'm rapping. And the only thing I'll have is some ad libs and some parts of the chorus and shit like that. And I'll just leave it like that.
I agree. I agree.
You know, yeah.
People get clowned down for rapping over their vocals, dog.
Yeah, it does sound weird. The first time I did it, because I felt like it was just to help, you know,
Mm.
like just to get used to it. But I see now why people do it like that, you know, like it makes fucking perfect sense.
Let's talk about the logo, the Toxic logo. How did that come about?
So Toxic logo, I actually made it myself. What I did was, like I said before, I used to do graffiti too. And I remember when I first found the Toxic logo, I was fucking around with it on Paint. So that logo is old as fuck. And I remember I would find a bunch of fonts and I put them together. And little certain things I did, like the crown and all that shit, I did all that, like kind of like with the drawings and shit. I think when I said I did that on my phone too. I don't remember. But I remember I did that shit like that. And then I had actually the person who helped me, I don't know if you're familiar with I Suppose. There was a moment when I
Yeah,
was
I remember
talking to
that
that
fool.
fool. I remember there was a moment when I was like talking with that fool a lot, and I hanged out with him a few times and shit. And I remember I told that fool, hey, I want to make these shirts, and he's the one who gave me game on the PNG files and shit. He was like, it has to be a PNG file because it's gonna be a fucking flat ass picture like that. And then he's the one who helped me get it like yeah, he had somebody cut it out or some shit like that where it looked I could just put it on t-shirts and shit, you know. And yeah, that's pretty much how it came. It would just be fucking around on paint. That's how I remembered it.
Hey, I remember when I got my first computer back in the day when I was a little kid and I popped up Paint, dog, no internet. That was like not knowing how to play fucking poker or all those, those free games that used to come on Windows and
Solitaire
shit,
and shit.
solitaire shit. I'm on Paint, just drawing, dog. Little kid, learning the computer. Paint was my best friend, dog.
That's
So
just
shout out to
fun.
Paint. Shout out to fucking Paint. Shout out to
Yeah.
fucking Paint. Everybody's graphic design software before graphic design was a thing in our fucking mind and shit. And
I
you know
think it
the
was I think it was dope as fuck. And the funny part is that all I did was added a black background, and then I made all that shit white. And that shit is fucking funny, but it's funny because it came out dope as fuck. You wouldn't even think it came from paint, you know,
trip out on this one, dog. The original Rowdy Regime logo. Guess where it was made on?
on paint.
On Paint, dog. There it is, dog. There it fucking is. Shout out to Paint. Shout out to
Hell
fucking Paint
yeah.
right there. Uh, when did you start making beats?
I want to say I always wanted to learn how to make beats when I was younger, too. When I first started rapping, and I want to say I originally started learning how to make beats when I was like, I want to say like 17 or some shit like that. My brother helped me, so I learned a lot in FL Studio. That's the reason I fucked with FL Studio when it came to beats. And I remember there's like a free version for a little bit for FL Studio. So you go fuck with it for like 10 minutes and then it just kind of like blocks or whatever. And then I remember I was just trying to learn just the drum pattern. I remember like I cannot do drums. That was the main thing that was bugging the fuck out of me was drums. And then I told my brother, because my brother's like my older brother. I'm not saying it's like a hacker, but he knows how to like get shit for free. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I told that fool, hey, is there a way you could get this for free? And he taught me, he was like, you have to get something called a crack file. And he would go to, I don't know, it was something called Pirate Bay. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but he went to Pirate Bay and he found it for me and he unlocked it, and that's when I started fucking with it like fucking heavy, it took me a long motherfucking time. It was honestly an on and off thing when it came to beats because I gave up. I'm like, fuck, it's hard as fuck, like so much shit to
Yeah.
learn, and little by little, and then I started looking at this dude called Busy Work Beats. I want to say that's his name, and that fool kind of like breaks it down so fucking simple, and it just takes time, man. That's why I tell people anybody learns how to make beats, they just think you're gonna learn how to make some sick shit in a day. Like you have to learn the basic shit, like to you understand that you're making a whole ass fucking beat and you have to do every single motherfucking sound. You know what I mean? Unless you're like sampling, it kind of like helps you in a way too, but you still want to learn how to like cut it and fucking fuck with it.
So when you were working on FL Studio, I'm guessing you were just using the keyboard, like
The keyboard,
the
yeah, because
computer.
I was using just the keyboard, but low key sometimes that's all you need. If you know
Yeah.
what you're doing, you could just because that's all it is pretty much. It's just a bigger. Somebody told me that it was Fred who told me. It was one of my homies. He told me he makes beats too, and he told me sometimes that shit's useless. Sometimes I make beats just like that, and you just need to learn how to map it out on your shit, and you can kind of use that in a way. It's just a fancy looking shit. But the only difference will be like the ones with the pianos and shit like that, and that's a little more different. But yeah, that was the first thing I was using was the keyboard, and then I got a my first actual equipment that I got for making beats was an audio. I think M Audio 25. That was the first one I got, and then the thing is I don't know how to play keyboard like that, so I kind of felt like it's just a big ass shit, and I just wanted the squares, and now I have the the Akai some shit, Akai MPC 200 some shit like that. I got the fuck
It's
it's
a little
called.
black box, no?
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
black one, and that's all I want. That's all I need, and that's what I start fucking with.
So you talking about equipment. So let's on the rap side, Turtle Beach headphones, earphones, the Blue Yeti. Did you ever get an upgrade?
After that, yeah, I got the baby bottle one, the fucking
It's another
the
blue one.
blue.
It's a
Yeah.
yeah. What's it called?
I thought the blue baby bottle.
That's exactly what it's called.
Yeah.
I thought it was just what people call it, but I mean, it does look like a baby
Yeah,
bottle. Anyways, go
yeah,
on.
that's
Yeah.
what it called. That shit was pretty pricey, but I think that sounds fucking amazing, you know? Like, and then I got it's almost like what's that fucking thing called? It's around the microphone that it was
The
like, they call it
chaotic
like
eye,
they call it a chaotic eye or whatever the fuck it's
the
called.
chaotic eyeball.
But yeah, but mine's more like a cheaper version of it, but it still does the fucking job. It's like, cause that shit's expensive. That shit looks dope. That shit's like $200, $100. Like fuck, the one I got was like $50 and it works as good. You
I
know?
know exactly what you're talking about, fool. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I think it still looks dope, you know. I think the eyeball looks better looking, but it still looks dope to me. It still does what
Hey,
I have to do.
it's all about how it sounds.
You know, yeah. The only time I take it off is when I want to record like a video and I want to make it look cool to have the mic. Other than that, I keep that shit on the entire time. I think that it makes it sound dope, and I think I upgraded really well when it came to that. You know, even with the beats, like sometimes I haven't done too much on beats because I feel like all that equipment is even more expensive. If you really want to get some dope shit, you know. Like too expensive. I don't gonna make money like that. You know what I mean? Like I think I'm making cool shit with what I have. You know. The only thing I did want to upgrade was the microphone because I felt like I had it for so fucking long, and I'm like, you know what? I need a real good expensive one, and that one came through.
So you're rocking with the baby bottle right now?
Yeah,
Okay. Baby bottle and the MPC, the Kaya MPC.
yeah,
That's your go-to right there. That's your studio
no,
setup
yeah.
right there. I mean, that's all you need, fool. That's all
That's
you
all you
need.
need, man. The fucking interface and speakers, and you're good.
Let's talk about some of your influences for rap music. I mean, for rapping, and then influences for beat making. What about like so? Let's break it down. Influences as a rapper.
A lot of my influence I feel like I said a lot Necro. I feel like I like his style because he sounds like a fucking asshole murderer motherfucker, and I like shit like that, you know? And I will also say Immortal Technique. I mentioned it before about Wisdom. Like he's like, yeah, like I'm just dead ass serious. I always felt like Musical Junkie was one of those groups that could have done so fucking much, and I think
Yep.
they were fucking dope as shit. And I always liked a lot of the underground music and shit. So I think they were fucking dope, and I want to just say a lot of just like 90s shit, you know, like because even I like boom bap, I like fucking G funk. When it comes to G funk, I like DJ Quick and Sugar Free and shit like that, you know. So like motherfuckers like that. When it comes to beats, Necro too, he makes beats and shit. Fucking DJ Muggs, fucking Alchemist. Alchemist is another fool that is fucking very underrated and shit. Fucking Havoc makes beats too. He's fucking amazing. And yeah, there's a lot of fools, man.
Yeah. There's a there was an idea that I had, but I never pulled the trigger on it. Where I was gonna ask everybody's top five, right? But I kind of just scrapped that, just because it's kind of hard to think of a top five on the spot. Right? I'm talking about in terms of the podcast.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna put you on the spot, fool, because I know that you got this.
yeah.
Top five rappers of all time, in your opinion.
My favorite number one is Big Pun.
Okay.
Then I'll say Prodigy from Mobb Deep.
Okay.
I would say I put Necro up there just because he's one of my influences and shit. Immortal Technique and I'll say Biggie.
Boom. There it is. Top five
Uh,
rappers. Your list. All right. So if you're listening to it and to this episode or you're watching this, this is Toxic's list, not yours. This is Toxic's list. Top
yeah.
five producers.
I feel like it's fucking that's a hard one, man. So many and shit. All right, so I'll say I don't know in order. I can't do an order, but like I mentioned, Alchemist, DJ Muggs, DJ Premier. I think Necro comes with some dope, amazing shit. So he's up there too. And I said Dr. Dre.
Oh, 5 right there.
Oh yeah,
Okay, for sure. That's a great list. Honestly, that's a solid 5. Well, 10 technically, but it's two separate lists.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what. See, this is why I don't like putting people on the spot. It's hard, dog. It's hard for me, fool. And I know my
It,
list, but it changes.
it changes a lot, but I feel like even in my top 10, like I know I don't mention Tupac much. I put Eminem in my top 10, but like he's not my top five. At least mine. I'm not saying he sucks. I think he's a top 10 for sure for me. I think he's fucking amazing. I just love Big Pun. Big Pun always been one of my favorite fucking rapper. Even his son Chris Rivers is now. The Big Pun, if you hear all his shit, just the way he fucking flows and the way he just rides on the beat, like fuck, dude, like who gets down, man. You know, like I don't mention him too much, and I don't probably don't even sound like him or try to rap like him. But when I hear his shit, I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker is dope as shit.
Speaking of beats, is there a beat that you listen to, dog, here and there, dog? You're like, I wish I produced this.
Woo, a lot. I would low key say that the Black Helicopters by Necro. I
That's
think
the
that shit's
nonfiction.
dope. Yeah,
Damn, that's a. I heard that song when I was in high school and it changed my life, dog.
that shit's fucking dope.
Because it was kind of my introduction into that realm of that style of music. Because
No,
my
yeah,
cousins were listening to Necro, my brother loves that shit too. But I was a little younger, so I didn't really understand it, right, in middle school. And then when I got into high school and my cousin started breaking it down and he started telling me about Ill Bill and Necro and Nonfiction and Gore-Tex and all
they're
these other
fucking
fools
dope.
and fucking what's that fool's name? Forgot the other CI. There were so many of those fools back in the day, dog. I think it's Mr. Hyde. I think that's his
Mr.
name.
Hyde is dope. No, yeah, he's
You know
another
what I'm
one
talking
that.
about?
Yeah, I know Mr. Hyde. He came out with a track pretty recent too. It's pretty fucking dope. I forgot what it's called, but it's pretty fucking dope. That for Negro produced a lot of good shit too. I know he did that Agent Orange with fucking Cage and shit. That's another beat that's fucking dope as fuck.
He did that album with Cool G Rap.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah, he did that.
I
That's
think it
just
came out
dope.
when I was in high school and that album came out. Was
No,
it called
yeah,
Godfathers or some shit like that?
something like that.
Yeah, so there's see, I know my thing. I know a little bit about that
No, yeah,
underground fucking rap shit. You know, it's funny. People don't know this trivia shit. So the other day I posted a video about the first time that I rap. But what I didn't say in the video because I didn't feel like it was necessary to talk about it. But since we're talking about this style of music, my first rap, my first rap verses, dog, my first verses, I want to say like the first like 5 were all like death rap style shit.
yeah.
But then I stopped because I was like, God, that's not me. Like that's not really. Yeah, I was in ninth grade going into 10th, and I was like, nah, this is not really, I don't really care too much about it. Because then somebody told me, was like, why don't you start talking about your life? And once that happened, it was a rap fool, and I just kind of gave up on that death rap shit. And I was like, I'm gonna be a
I
fucking
feel
life
like
rapper and shit.
I feel like I could rap about anything. I don't like rapping too much emotional things. That's the only thing. Because there's some fools that hit me, hey, can you rap on this? And they always hit me with some super emotional shit. I'm like, I don't want to rap about that shit. I
Me,
could always switch it up because I have a couple of tracks coming up too, and they're all completely fucking different. You know, I could make a love song. I feel like I could do a love song. I think every time I do one, I feel like it comes dope. I've recorded a few, and I want to say I don't even think I posted one, but I've recorded a few, and I always think they always came out pretty fucking dope. And I feel like I did one with upcoming projects. I have some that's talking about me being an alcoholic and shit, or like I'm calming down and now, and then about my wife and then about my kids, and I could rap about. I think it's fun too, but I always every time when it comes to death rap though, I just feel like it almost releases the anger.
mm.
Like it built. Like I know I'm talking about, but that's what I feel like fucking doing to a motherfucker. Like I get so creative, but obviously I'm not gonna do it and shit. But I feel like it almost makes me when I'm done with it, I'm just like Ash is fucking dope. That's what I fucking needed out and blah blah blah. And that's how I get when I do music like that.
Therapy.
Hell yeah.
I come back from college 2017 and I think the musical junkies were over by then. I don't know about the timeline too much. I forgot.
I want to say their last year was probably around that frame, like 2012. No, yeah, you're right. Because I think they still have music videos like 8 years ago or some shit like that, or some 9 years ago.
2017 I come back and I forgot how it happened, but we connected on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. Do you remember how that happened? Did I
Oh, you
send you
got.
a message or did you send me a
I
message?
remember you sent me a message about collab, and I had a track called Asesino,
Oh, boom. And then it
and
took like
then
a fucking year to make.
yeah.
Cause I was on some bullshit too. I was lagging it, dog. I was seeing this is what we're talking about the
I was
accountability
low
shit.
key. I haven't mentioned it, but there's a track that I've been trying to find that you sent me a long ass fucking time ago. And I don't know, and I think you sent it to an old email of mine that I don't have access to, but it was so fucking dope. And I think it was around the time you did this album, the something Fool or something like that. It has like 5 tracks and shit.
What the fuck's it called? Way.
You know what I'm talking about now?
It has like I sampled like The Simpsons at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
I have it.
Fool, I've been trying to find that shit because I'm like, fuck, boy, you told me a lot to make a verse for it, and I fucking lagged it. So I don't know what the fuck I was going through in that time. But I wasn't making music for a long time and shit, and I've been wanting that fucking track. I'm like, fuck, fool, I want this with a, I want. I've been trying to find that shit. I can fucking rap on it.
I found it the other, what was it? Was it last year or 2 years ago? But I found it again this year after going through my old laptop and I extract the file. So I have it, dog. I have that song.
Fucking send it to me, bro.
I forgot what the fuck's it called. I think it was called Toxic Waste was the name of the song.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
And I sampled the Simpsons fucking when they're playing with the chemical shit.
yeah. That shit's a dope. That shit, I like that shit.
Then we do the song Asesinos. You know, that was an introduction to ourselves. And we come find out that, we have, you know, close you have a closer friendship to Wisdom than I ever did. But I was kind of cool with Wisdom. So we had connections, we had we're in with
My
the same
cousin,
similar crowd and shit.
and even, I think even my cousin's like girlfriend or cousin knew you too and shit.
Nah, we're not gonna talk about
You
that,
know,
dog. We're not gonna talk about that. Hell no. What the fuck? I didn't even know this shit, dog. They don't know me, dog. You know what I'm saying? They don't know me. They don't. If you don't see them in the video, dog, they don't know me. They just keep it like that. I'm out here getting exposed and shit. That's funny. We'll talk about this shit after. I didn't even know this one, dog. You're getting exposed. I didn't getting called out. That's dope though.
yeah, you know what's crazy? I think I want to say I've seen one of your music videos before too.
Oh, I'm telling you, you're probably in my brother's Carver when he finished eighth grade, the yearbook.
Yeah,
Remember, I think I sent you a message. I tried to look for it.
yeah.
I don't think I found you there. Did I send you a picture of you?
You sent me a picture.
Oh yeah, I
I don't know if
did
you
find
sent it
you.
on Instagram or through text, but I remember I showed my wife. I was like, "Man, they found me a freaking Carver and shit."
So it was we ran kind of not in the same crowd because I didn't really kick it out here like that. Like I was all over the place. Like yeah, I'm from South Central food, but when I was a junior in high school, I got to go do shit out there in Santa Monica. But even out here when I was kicking it in South Central in ninth and 10th grade, or even in 11th and 12th, I was all over the place, right?
No,
But it's easy to know who the fuck's who out here, dog. Like it's not that hard. It's not that difficult. Everybody want to ask God. Everybody, I didn't go to Carver food, but people want to Carver. A lot of my peoples they went to Carver.
and the crazy
So
part, we're like super close by,
super fucking super
super
fucking
close. Like literally
Five
like
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
Super close. And you know, it's funny. I would love to believe that, you know, eventually we could have probably made it into the musical junkies. That's all I'm gonna
No,
say.
yeah.
We'll just keep it like that.
No,
We'll
yeah.
we'll keep it like that. So we do the song Asesinos, right? We start chopping it up and slowly but surely, you know, and then I asked you, I was like, hey, fool, would you be down to be a member of the rowdy regime? Right? Which
Yeah.
even to this day, I'm still trying to figure what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
You know, but we're working on shit. We've been working on music for years, even if the files get lost, even if it took me like a year and a half to record the verse, one verse for Asesinos, dog. I feel like now at this stage of our lives, we're in a better mental space to make music. So my question to you is, at this point in your life, what's the goal?
On music,
Yeah, with music.
I just want to go more harder on it this year coming up. I already kind of started this month, and I'm actually planning on dropping an album on February, and it's called Love and Turmoil. I already dropped a one track only, but that's all I'm dropping. It's called Sick Bastard, but it's gonna be like 6, 7 tracks. Um, that's pretty much the upcoming shit that I'm making, and I'm gonna do more music videos. I'm actually gonna be doing more music videos. I'm actually getting on camera by February, so hopefully everything goes good when it comes to music videos too. And I want to get more into shit like that. And yeah, that's pretty much the goal too. Is just to fucking be performing more too. I want to be more find the crowd that I fuck with more because I don't feel like it's very hard to find deaf rap motherfuckers in Bakersfield. But I just want to fucking do more music, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like do more music. I feel like the beats I got it because I make it every now and then, but I'm not concentrating too much on beats right now. I'll be more on rapping and shit.
A couple years ago, maybe what was it 2022, when I started getting into marketing and branding. I forgot how long ago this was. But like I said, when you join the router regime, you get access to a lot of the, you know, behind the scenes of what I learned, and I get to share with y'all for free. And we sat down and we had a conversation about your YouTube channel and your beats,
Yeah.
and the idea of Toxic Thursdays came about. What was your plan before Toxic Thursdays when it came to releasing beats on YouTube?
So I always wanted to be one of those channels, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where they
Yep.
just post a bunch of fucking beats. And I actually, when you talked to me about Toxic Thursday, I ended up liking the idea a lot because I could expand it more. You know what I mean? And it gives me more to be on beats. Because sometimes some of those beats I'll make it in the spot. Like I'll even tell my wife like, "Oh shit, I ain't made nothing for Toxic Thursday," and I'll fucking try to do it and post it. And I try to really make. I think I only missed it like one time, and I think I was just out of it or like something happened, and that was only one time, and then I posted it the next day. But I feel like I love the idea a lot. You know, it makes me get on my toes to get on beats. And that's what I'm saying too. And sometimes I make the beat that same fucking day and I post it. You know what I mean? And then I think it's fucking amazing. Yeah, I think that was the awesome ass idea ever and shit. And I put it every time in the fucking hashtags. I always put Rowdy Regime.
Yeah, I looked that shit up.
The first one was the Rowdy Regime and Toxic Thursdays, and I just put a bunch of boom bap, death rap, blah blah blah, and shit, you know. And I think it's dope. I think I'm already like in one. Where the fuck am I right now? I think I have
170
in, I,
something?
in 170 something, but I think in total, I think I have over 198 beats already posted because I posted some beats before that.
Mhm.
But I want to say I have 198 beats already. It's a
I mean,
shitload, and then I have more in the chamber and shit. You know?
I think I'm trying to count how many beats I use from 4 beats from Toxic Thursdays that I've
Uh,
used for some mixtape shit that I released. So, hey, thank you for that, dog. Because you know,
yeah,
I was like, you know, I'm gonna bless the homie with some tracks. Because even if we weren't featuring, or I wasn't featuring in your music, you weren't featuring on mine. Like I said, the conversations have always been there. Now I feel like with this Discord server we've been on it. I've been so inspired. Like I'm remodeling my studio for to make my music production easier. So I'm not really gonna get too much into that. I'd rather, have everybody see it next week. But
Yeah.
in terms of releasing beats, I know you say you're not really focused too much on that project, but is Toxic Thursday something that you see yourself doing for the foreseeable future, or is there like an end date?
I don't want to do it and date. I think, like I said, I like the idea because it keeps me on my toes on it.
Mm.
And then every week, regardless of who the fuck wants to listen to it, at least they'll be like, "Hey, this will drop the cool beat," or "This will drop the beat. Let's see how it sounds and shit." But I don't see myself dropping that anytime soon. I still feel like I still want to do it to fucking 20,000 if I have to, you know. As much
Yeah.
as long as I'm alive and I'm able to do it, I'll do it, you know.
You ever sold the beat?
From Toxic Thursdays, yeah.
Yeah.
They will say sold, and then I'll put the first thing it will say was sold. I haven't sold too much because a lot of people just hit me up for like more like customized shit, and you know what I mean. But or they'll be like, "Hey, I want to be like this," or sometimes I try to be real with people too. If I sampled something, because sometimes I'll get a copyright for certain samples, and they would tell me, "Hey, I want to buy this beat," and I'm not a dick. I'll be like, "Oh, here you go," and then they can't really use it and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a dick like that, so I'll tell people, "Hey, I could make you something similar, but I'm not gonna say this beat because it's gonna be fair for you." You know, I'm just helping your ass, and if you really, really, really wanted that bad, then fuck it, here you go. You
Hey, I don't give a fuck, dog. I'll release my shit even with a sample, fool. I don't give
I'll
a
release it.
fuck,
I
man.
would release it too. That's what I'm saying. But sometimes some people, there's those people that hit me up like, too, like, I need the stems and I need this and that. And I try to explain to them, all right, I'll send you everything. Just, I want you to understand when the sample, you're going to get a copyright, you know?
Yeah. Ni modo, way. Ni modo.
Yeah. It just sometimes I like what I like about sampling is almost like fun, you know what I mean? Like it's fun to me. It sounds dope, but the only bad side is that something you're gonna get a copyright.
What do you identify as, dog? As a beat producer or a rapper or just a hip hop head or
Uh, I try to say mostly a producer
uh,
because I feel like I say producer most of the time. I don't say rapper too much, but I'll say producer. I have this app called Bink. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It kind of you just show them your fucking they'll scan like this QR code and it'll literally show everything. It'll show your fucking TikTok, Instagram, the whole shit. It could even have your number in it and shit like that, your email, and right there it says hip hop producer. Then I'll have my logo and everything. And I
that's
think I
what's
do
up.
that. I normally try to do that when if I go to shows. And then I'll be like, hey man, you need a beat because I'll see some fools perform, and I'll like, hey man, if you need beats, hit me up right here. Boom. They'll normally add me on Instagram or some shit, or email me sometimes. But I mean, it works. I like that shit.
Final question about music. One, two final questions about music.
Yeah,
You started the cipher series. What's it called?
the Verbal
Verbal.
Vendetta.
Yeah, the Verbal Vendetta. Now, what's the future of the Verbal Vendetta?
So Verbal Vendetta is most likely gonna be most likely next year's shit. It was most like a thought of shit. I haven't made it completely like, oh my god, verbal like a big thing yet, but it is coming up. But what I'm gonna try to do is kind of something similar to the cipher effect,
Hmm.
where I wanna just record food. Just fucking get the camera and fucking go to food. Hey, rap a verse or rap a full song or one of your songs or rap on my beats. I want to kind of make more my beats thing, but
Hmm.
if it's their songs, I want to fuck whatever they want, you know. But I will include. I will always say, hey, I would love for you to rap one of my beats. Pick a beat that you like, or you want me to make you one, or whatever the fuck. But if they're not fucking with it and they want to do their song, then fuck it, I'll just go with it, you know. But that's pretty much what I want to do. It's most likely next year thing because next I want to say February. I'm gonna get a camera ready. So I'm already paying for it, so I'm pretty much gonna get it by February. And then I'm pretty much gonna start doing music videos and the Verbal Vendetta. That's what I was gonna do. I have a few. I have two Verbal Vendetta things so far, which is for my homie Dog C, and he recorded on his shit, and then I recorded one on mine, the Killer Mentality one.
So
But that's more.
episode three is gonna be me.
Just do it, bro. I'm down.
O
Shit.
three on O3 number three. Let's get it.
Hell
I
yeah.
fuck with that concept. That's dope to have them use your beats and have you would be the one recording the video, right?
No, yeah.
That's
And
a
the
whole
only
in-house project and shit.
the only thing I make exceptions that they do want to record it themselves. Sometimes I don't mind it, but I want to record majority of it. You know,
Mm.
like I don't want them to every episode to be they recording themselves. I want to go if I have to go to LA and I record you. Let's plan it. Boom, boom, boom. I'll do it. You know, and then eventually, like I said, I want to do this more for like a fun project. I think it's dope, and then it'll probably even bring more people to even listen to my shit. You know.
Hey, dog, that's an avenue. It's an avenue
Yeah,
to get attention. You gotta
yeah,
figure
yeah,
out different ways to get people to wherever you want to lead them, and that may be, an entrance point.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
usually me, for I got an entrance point to every podcast, live streaming, fucking all kinds of shit, all kinds of points of entry that in my head, like it'd be cool, like if they eventually stumble upon my music, or if somebody stumbles upon my music first, and then they get to see this podcast. Like there's so many
Yeah,
points of entry, right? So yeah, sign me up. Fool. I'm down. I'm down to hit
no,
up.
yeah, let's do it.
I got a spot where we could record. It'd
I'm
be a
down.
dope spot out here. And then this is another question that came up in my head right now. I know we talked about the logo and how you made the logo, and I know we talked about it a little bit at the very beginning of the interview when we're talking about Tribe, but are there any plans to make any toxic merch next year?
Yes, I'm planning to do more toxic merch. I just been lagging on it. Not necessarily even lagging on it. I just the machine that I was using pretty much kind of fucked up on me. So that's another thing. Now that I'm working more and I'm thinking about buying another one and planning to drop more merch.
To
Um,
heat press?
yeah, it started fucking up on me, and then I'm gonna drop more merch like for sure. I want to get more heavy on that shit and for Tribe too, not just toxic. But I want to do all types of shit like hoodies. I want to do like more stuff for like girls and shit. Cause I've noticed that when I show girls certain things, like me and my mom will talk to girls and we'll be like, "Hey, what do you think about something like this?" You know, and they will fucking love it. Oh, it looks fucking dope. It looks cute. It looks blah blah blah. You know, whatever and shit. I want to do more girl shit. You know, because even for the music video, we did the booty shorts one, and I think that shit came out dope as fuck. You know,
I still have the one you sent me.
yeah.
So, hey,
I got the Roddy shirt too and shit. It's actually in my fucking I buried that shirt too in my profile picture too and
yeah, that's a
shit.
sick ass picture, fool. That's a dope ass fucking picture.
Yeah,
If we ever, I mean, Stay Rowdy, I already talked about this. I made a whole video about it, but Stay Rowdy, the actual clothing brand that I want to start, I'm not gonna do it anymore. But that doesn't mean that we can't make merch for the Rowdy regime, right? Because
yeah,
they used to be one, then I separated them. Now they're back to being one again. So who knows?
yeah.
Maybe in the future we'll print some new Stay Rowdy shirts. It's not in my plans right now. Like right now, for me, it's focused on making my brand, the number one priority, and the number one priority of the label for those listening. If you're curious, is to have everybody become their own individual brand.
No, yeah.
Instead of trying to like all come together to build one brand, everybody's building their own, and then maybe in the future we'll get together and be like, okay, now we're all established. Let's build on the Rowdy regime.
Another thing I feel like people should realize too when it comes to merch, it's fucking expensive to make.
Ooh,
It's very fucking expensive. You can make a cool little profit off it, but sometimes when you're in a bad moment, like you go, like you just have a bunch of merch there and shit where everyone's broke and blah blah blah. That's just fucking expensive, even if you're making it
ooh.
yourself or you're getting it made.
Sometimes like all these stickers, dog, I don't sell them. I was just wasting money. Not, I'm not gonna. Okay, I'll take that back. Not wasting money, but kind of is at the same time because I'm not making a profit. It's a, it's a, it's a great investment. It's the best investment that I've done. But when you don't sell stickers for how long we've been doing this for fucking since 2019, 2020. Every year just re-upping. I never get to see a return on that though. So that's true, dog. You
I wanted to get stickers too. It's funny because I got stickers and they send me the. I have to go to somebody who knows what they're doing because I stickers. I try to tell them I want it like this and da da da. And they fucking send me a little ass fucking square like fucking like literally this small fool. And I'm like, what the fuck?
swear.
Like he sent me shit. I was trying to do stickers too around the first time since I was selling a lot of toxic merch. Um, I was trying to do stickers, but they fucked me over, and then never did it again.
Damn.
But I wanted to do it again. I'm still down to do that shit. Even just slap it everywhere and shit.
I'm telling you, for like I know it's a waste of money, but it's not because I now have my stickers all over the world and it's dope, dog. I'm not getting any money off of it, fool, but if the stickers out there, dog, somewhere and somebody comes across it and they like fuck with that shit, hey, homie, that's profit too, fool.
No, yeah,
It's not
I'm
physical
down
money,
as
but
long, as long as they realize they all like, oh, I seen that shit, and fucking,
yeah.
it's dope to me and shit. That's what I want to start doing too more. Like I want to. That's the reason I said I want to get the stickers. Even if I don't sell them, I'll just slap them everywhere. It's just like graffiti and shit. Put them everywhere. Put them on stop signs when I'm in restroom and shit. Anyway, I'll go fuck.
Yeah, I used to go on sticker slapping missions with the homies and my cousins, and it would be half and half, half O3 shit and half Stay Rowdy stickers. But
Yeah,
now just all fucking baby food is everywhere, dog.
yeah.
At my job when I used to work with the youth, I had like a gang of the youth rocking my sticker everywhere and shit. Like I had fools coming up to, hey, you're the fool with the baby stickers. It was like, yeah, here you go, dog. Boom. And now I had like a
Yeah.
fools walking around with their phone case like this and shit. I was like, yeah, that's right,
Oh
baby.
yeah.
It's all about planting that image in their mind so they recognize it when it is taken to the next level.
Even
But
speaking about logos too, I used to draw a character. I don't even, you know how people draw characters in the quickness. I was thinking about kind of making even that a logo. I don't think I've ever shown you that look. It would be this goofy looking character I used to draw, and it is like I could draw that motherfucker like in 5 seconds.
send it
It
to
can
me. I
do
want to see it.
that. Yeah, I'll send it to you. That shit is fucking dope. It looks all goofy, but I think it looks dope as fuck. It's like pretty much it looks like a. I don't know how to even describe it. Fool. He just doesn't have like eyes like that, and he has some big ass goofy teeth, but he looks dope as fuck. And I was even thinking about making that almost like a logo or like to put it with toxic in a way. You know what I mean? I'll send it to you. I don't even think I even posted it ever. But I'll even try to draw it real quick and send it to you and shit.
Yeah, we could chop it up and see if that's something worth pursuing in the
Yeah,
future. We'll sit down and see what's up, my boy. But
no,
final music question to
yeah,
wrap up your music journey. We've talked about the past. We've talked about in between. We talk about the present and what's the goal, going into the future. But is there a moment in this whole music journey that you've done something or somebody has blessed you with a piece of equipment or something that changed your life, dog? That has nothing to do with lyric writing, has nothing to do with a piece of advice. Maybe you went to go see a concert, fool, that you met somebody or something that's like uh, a life-changing event, life-changing piece of equipment, something that really changed your life.
can it be like a music video?
Yeah.
Wisdom blessed me with a music video with a sadistic,
Oh
and
yeah.
that who pretty much directed the whole shit. And I was just, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. Blah blah blah. And I felt like even it is a life changing because it made me realize I like this shit too. I saw I fuck with him a lot heavy, and he would probably say the same thing. And we're both very similar when it comes to a lot of shit. Like to music, we like the same music, we like the same shit. Like I like doing music video. I think it's the funnest shit in the fucking world. And even just doing that, it's not just a music video, but he just blessed me like fuck. I could actually had something professionally done for the first time. and it taught me like, fuck, I could do this too. I could learn a lot from this fool, and I think it's fucking dope.
Boom.
You know what I
Shout
mean?
out to wisdom.
Yeah,
Shout out to wisdom. Cause look, we always get advice. We're always working on our craft. But sometimes an event happens that changes our life, that we start thinking about things differently, or we're gifted something that changes our life, or we just, see something, dog. Like, we just it's we go through an experience that changes our life.
yeah,
And being blessed with a music video, fool, that's a big thing, fool, because it's pricey, dog.
fuck yeah,
Especially pretty sure with all the equipment that he used and the way like
yeah,
all the effects and all the fucking the props that you fools had to use and everything,
oh, yeah,
stuff like that, man, that shit would, there's fools out there though with less, that do more, but then there's a lot of fools with more that get less. That makes
yeah,
sense? You feel
yeah,
me? So we just gotta, take what we get. You feel me? Because nobody, not everybody's gonna gift us shit. Nobody's, out there to just give us stuff. Sometimes most of the time we have to go look for ourselves, and we have to try to do it ourselves. We
oh,
want
yeah,
to. Part of us has that pride. We have that part of us that wants to do it alone, or we want to do it to prove it to the world and shit.
oh,
But
yeah.
once in a while, there comes, there's a miracle that comes into our life and shit.
No, yeah,
So.
and even I try to bless people, like
Mm.
I'm not even people hearing it don't think you're gonna get shit for free, but I've done shit for free for people that I'm like I know they could fucking be good and shit. I'll make them a beat, I'll mix it and blah blah blah, and then they'll fucking be completely fucking happy with it. Even that makes me happy seeing that shit for
Mm.
people who deserve it. You know what I mean? Not just some random motherfucker. I'll just notice people like, hey man, I'll bless you, man. Don't trip. You know what I mean? And I think that's amazing too, man. Like I said, I've been blessed with a lot of shit, and I feel like sometimes also giving back too.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Well, that was as deep as we could get in terms of your music journey. I do want to ask you about one final topic just to wrap up this part two of your story, dog. Or
yeah.
before I move on, anything else you want to say about your music?
Nah, I think we pretty much said everything and shit.
At some point, you started a podcast and you were
Yeah,
interviewing rappers, right?
yeah.
Is that still a project that's in the works, or is that something that you're content
I still want to
with?
do that. I just haven't. It's just you would probably agree with what I'm saying. Sometimes it's so much. It's not overwhelming. I don't even want to say the word overwhelming. Like, I'm not like, oh my god, but like it is a lot to fucking do, Because then I gotta make sure the person has the good timing to even just record them, and I only have 2 days off, and the majority of the time, and it might not work with them, shit like that, or like I'm already working on other shit. I'm trying to put more. I do want to put it there, but it's not like a super priority in a
Mm,
way. You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
I would still love to do it. The reason why I liked it too, because even after the first time I did it, I felt like it was weird. Like it was like I had to be a whole different person. Normally, I'm not saying I'm shy. I'm not shy. I don't talk much as like that. When I'm like at work, I just work and do what the fuck I got to do. Boom, boom. And it was kind of the first time me really being more social with people, even just people that I never met in my life and shit, and just being super social and shit. I liked it because it taught me to be like how to talk. Like I guarantee you, I could do an interview out of nowhere. I could record, I could perform fucking right now. They tell me, hey, if we want to perform, I got. Well, I became more like that.
Mm.
Like I could do something like that more than to give me like a fucking week or something. I do it right now. Fuck it. You know.
Yeah, I get what you're
So
saying. You're prepared to do shit on the fly.
yeah, so that's what I liked about the podcasting. But it's just finding people. That's the thing too. It's finding people, and it's just the timing. That's what makes it hard. But at the same time, the time that I have, I want to use it on what I want to do too. So if I had all day to do a lot of shit, then fuck it, I'll do that. I'll probably make like Monday do this, and then Tuesday do that. But sometimes I only have 2 days, and sometimes I don't even have a lot of time either. You know what I mean? Even when I record music, I have like an hour, 2 hours to
Mm.
record at most a day. After that, I got kids and wife and all that shit going,
Responsibilities is it?
responsibilities and shit. I would still,
At,
like I said, I would still like to do it. I think it's fun, but next, I don't want to do, because at first I tried to do just voices. The reason why I try to do voices is because I feel like it's just the voice, not the picture and all that. Because I always, as an example, like when I'm at work, when I listen to podcasts, I'm not looking at the fucking podcast. I'm hearing it. So that's the way I thought about it at first. But if I have the camera, I think I'm gonna do a whole setup. The only thing is, I'm not blaming my kids. They're loud, you know. I'm a toddler and I'm a baby, and I always, it's a funny story. I don't think I ever mentioned it, but I remember one of the podcasts, I cut it out. You cannot hear it, but I remember it was so fucking funny because my baby was crying in the background, like loud as fuck in the middle of the podcast.
hey,
That's
no,
the
that's
only
the
reason why I'm kind of scared of doing video because I don't want something like that to happen, you know? So I gotta kind of wait a little until like a good age or like, hey, all right, chill the fuck out, you know?
but don't like for the that's the way because you know that this shit like that happens all the time where you can't control the people, you can't control the environment. But speaking from somebody that, I've quit and I've restarted my podcast so many times, dog. And it's always because I've always felt like I didn't know how to balance the podcast, the live streaming, everything else. I always felt like music would, because music I could only do it from a certain time at night.
Yeah,
When you don't have energy at the end of the night, that's the first thing to go.
yeah,
It's like, oh, I'll just rap tomorrow. I'll record tomorrow. And then I realized like, well, man, shit, I got all these fucking podcast episodes. I got all these live streams. What about the fucking music?
right,
And I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, nah, I gotta put this on pause. Let me focus on music. But now I feel like I've gotten to the point where I've scheduled it so so well and so good for me, though, that I could stop this podcast today and just focus on music, fool.
yeah,
But that just that comes from time and learning, fool. That sometimes we can't do everything that we want.
oh yeah.
It sounds fun, fool. Trust me, it's fun, dog. And it,
It is fun. Even I want to do more. I've never done lives. I never done like that, and that's something also I want to more actively do. And I think it is
uh,
fun, bro. Like I said, it made me more in like be in the moment. You know what I mean?
uh,
And that's what I like about shit like that. At first, I never thought I was gonna like it. I thought I was like, it's not me. But then when I started doing it, or even something like that, I like it. You know, like I said, I performed something like that too. They just thought, hey, you want to perform tonight? Fuck, I got it. And I just got my songs, and I just said what kind of crowd is it? Boom, boom, let's go. You know, and I think it's dope.
it's an addicting feeling, fool, when you start a new project and you enjoy it. But then it sucks, fool, when you stop doing it for a while and you're like, like, damn, I'm slacking and shit. That's all I gotta say, fool. Is my biggest
Uh,
piece of advice, and not even just for you, but people listening, is if you got a lot of things on your plate, figure out what you prioritize, and then if it's something that's at the very bottom, don't give up on it. But you have to figure out a way to never beat yourself up. And the way I do it is the way I don't beat myself up is I'm okay if I never do it again.
yeah,
With music is different. Like I don't feel like I'll ever stop with music. But with everything else, like the streaming, the podcasting, everything else, I can feel like I have to put myself and I have to remind myself that if for whatever reason I can't ever do a podcast episode ever again, I'm good.
yeah,
You feel me? Because at the top of the list is music, fool, and then everything else.
no, yeah,
If podcast was my number one priority, fool, I would have quit music a long time ago, dog.
yeah,
So that's my biggest piece of advice. But we've come to the end, dog. Story of Toxic Part 2.
no, yeah.
And final words.
Yeah, I said, man, we good. Hopefully, everyone has a good Christmas, a good New Year's, and shit. We all good, man.
Well, thank you again, fool, for
Uh,
taking time out of your day, two in the
yeah.
morning and shit.
Yeah.
For those wondering,
I'm on
some
the
fucking
car.
some fucking late night interview session, the homie Toxic. But other than that, it's your boy Othree signing off. Don't forget to love yourself today, all right? Adios. stepping out the door with some fresh 90s. The old whites, the drips nice. Yeah, I'm icy, but I don't wear eyes. Still a fool that looks fly. Got my button down on, let's get lost in the